Is the cycle over or not? That's what we want to know. Major loser Powell ending QT. But is everybody going to fight the Fed? Maybe. I want to show you something, friends. So this is the others BTC chart. It is altcoins against Bitcoin in market cap, okay? In the end of 2021 cycle, the US Fed announced in one of their FOMC, it was October, November of 2021, they said, we are going to start quantitative tightening next year. We're going to hike rates and we're going to start it. We have to do something about this inflation. That's pretty much what they said, okay? So you can actually see that right here, friends. Do you see this US Fed balance sheet? So they told us around November to December right here. They said, you know, we are actually going to start QT. And what happened was the QT started. And it was funny. You had Silvergate Bank, USD peg, and actually it continued down. So the US Fed basically said, we're going to do QT now. Okay. And that might be where we are right now, except the inverse. The inverse is we are right here and they've said we're stopping QT in December. It's actually done right here. So pretty much now the balance sheet is just going to start doing that, right? Until something cracks and then they have to do it again. But that's what we're all waiting for, right? They think, oh, is something going to crack or not? Because there could be like a bit of big nasty stuff happening to the cryptocurrency industry, but or any of the risk on assets. So that's what I want to show you. There's a lot of people saying that QT is bearish back then, and now QT ending is also bearish. Which, you know what, you don't know. But I've just presented you what actually happened last time, right? It is interesting though. Everyone's fighting the Fed again. Yeah, that's what's fascinating to us, friends, because if we go back, if we look at Bitcoin, the US Fed said, okay, we're going to start quantitative tightening here, okay? We're going to start quantitative tightening, and they actually began in like February, March next year of the following year. So we had already run before they started, and bang, okay? That's why, like, look, you could make the case where here we are today. If they're starting QT, and remember what I use is the others BTC ratio, but this is the Bitcoin price chart. Like, I wonder if they say, okay, we're going to end QT if we have another leg and there's a bit of a retracement. Because I want to show you this, right? This is what happened, friends. We went down. So the US Fed said here, they said, hey, we're going to raise rates. We're major losers. We're going to raise rates. We're going to start QT. We went down. And if you remember here, friends, Russia and Ukraine came with the war. Russia, Ukraine. And then we actually retraced the move before we hit the big blow down. This is when Do Kwon bought 40,000 Bitcoin and we went down. I'm wondering if, okay, I'm really wondering if they say, right, hey, we're going to, like, you know, pause the QT. I wonder if we run up, right, and then we actually come back down and everyone's fighting the Fed again before we do another zip up. Okay, I'm wondering if it's the inverse of that when it comes to that. Of course, we're guessing. We are guessing. I want to show you this chart as well. This is from, being shared all around Twitter Roonies. This is others BTC. It's a linear chart. Okay. And it's factual information right now. The easiest position to be is a Bitcoin Maxi psychologically. The hardest position to be is to be in altcoins. I think this means opportunity. Okay. Not financial advice. It's been 5 years. It's been going down. I'll make no promises, friends. You know, all our lives are pretty much being destroyed. We're the only asset class in the world that's gone down for 5 years. Everything's been a shocking annihilation, complete depression. And then people say, oh, speculation. Yeah, but bro, sit down. The racist Russell 2000, 50% of the companies in this 2000 stock index make no money, and it went back to the all-time highs. Number one. Number two, Palantir is trading at 300 PE. Nvidia is trading at 5 trillion. So the world has priced in massive perfection to stuff, right? So that's why, look, what happens, friends, is you're watching like a yin-yang curse process where it's just like how Gainsey called everybody poor in 2022, and now he's had to do some rugging of coins, and his reputation went from like, you know, like 5 out of 10 down to like 0 out of 10. So you're witnessing that in real time. Bitcoin maxis and stock maxis laughing and spitting on altcoins. We're probably going to see some sort of reversal, but it takes time, okay? Because retail have to come by the top, but they need to see a walking up of the price action, messing with the bull's horns. Thank you to Baby Doll who alerted me to this. Justin, OpenAI has prepared for an IPO at 1 trillion valuation. Baby Dolls, do you remember? I've been talking to you every day. I said, man, wouldn't it be wild if like they got a $1 trillion market cap IPO for OpenAI? Wouldn't it be wild if they were able to do that, to launch at the top? Maybe they get there and then it gets near the launch and they do it, and then maybe there's like one final burst in that. It goes to like 1.5 trillion or something. We'll see. Or they might even delay it. Maybe the market's up even more next year and they go, okay, let's just do 1.5 trillion. You know, they might just keep dragging it up for the very end. OpenAI preparing an IPO listing at 1 trillion. So that's why we track this stuff. I don't have any 100%, indicators or anything, but this is just, remember, I've been talking to you about this, friends. Are just here 18 hours a day. We're thinking, hey, if ChatGPT launched in November of 2022 at the bottom, I wonder if their IPO launch marks the top. I wonder. Okay, maybe they launch at the top. Maybe they burst up to 2 trillion. So yeah, it'll be a bit crazy. I hope you also didn't forget, friends, Jim Cramer is still bearish on crypto, saying its bubble will pop just like the 1999 tech crash.
When I say down is up.
There we go. Awesome. Jim Cramer still bearish on crypto, believing that there's going to be a big tech bubble crash style in it. So hopefully the inverse for it works. James Wynn is also still short. Crypto investors only want one thing. Gib. Green candle. I've been lighting so many green candles for us every single day. Yeah, man. I'm lost for words. Just, everything that's gone up. There's been like a speculation in many places of the world, except our crypto industry still being destroyed with the altcoins, right? And it is sad because Bitcoin Maxi sold their soul. Now they're releasing stocks. They're dumping the stocks on retail. They're going against all their word. They're releasing all these Bitcoin treasury stuff and having all these puntings, and they're grifting, dude. Everything that they, by their definition, they're doing everything that they said altcoiners were bad for. They're literally doing it. And they're actually doing it on a higher level. They're increasing the grift. They think, oh, but we've got we've got a board and we've got a SEC filing. No, dude, that makes it worse. It's like you turn your back on the whole decentralization principle, the whole reason why crypto was invented in the first place, right? To remove middlemen. And you literally, basically, you take off your robe, you put down your biblical text, your scriptures, and then you run straight into the centralization, the dungeon, for the pits of snakes. That's what they've done. Effectively what they've done. They've turned their back, right? We made crypto to remove the middlemen, and then they run right into the stock market. They go, oh, let's bring on more middleman. I'll be a middleman. Isn't it great? Speaking of middlemen, friends, Tether just froze another $11 million USDT. And I've written here, look into PulseChain P.E.W. This is me writing a unicorn. Whee! Thanks to Baby Doll who made it out here. So yeah, friends, that is, if you want to know the product market fit of having a natively decentralized stablecoin, that is why the prophecy of P.E.W., if it completes, would be great. But we don't know. You know what I mean? We don't know if it's all going to work out. I hope it works out. PulseChain prices out here still sinking, still pooped from the price action following the FOMC. Here we have, friends, remember the monthly candle is still red, the indecision candle out here. I want to remind you, yeah, man, look, I know it looks really bad. However, we have spent a lot of time retesting these zones. We have. We spent 9 months here, around the all-time high. We've spent time here. We've spent time here. We've spent a lot of time, man. A lot of time grinding. And it's made all these, RSI divergences and stuff appear. Let's play some continuation. All we have is our friendship left. Don't forget, I am catching you in my Pokeball every single day. Caught you again. And we welcome Rakkzy. We've actually captured a new friend for PulseChain community. Welcome Rakkzy, friends. Rakkzy, to be honest, I'd never come across this sir before. Okay, I haven't paid attention, don't know. He actually got a message in the mail. PulseChain LCD marketing gift. I've been away for a while. Just got this in the mail. I'm not sure how they got my address. It's a drawing tablet. Seems to be from Hex from PulseChain. I asked Grok who the top influencers are, and then it names all the people, a lot of users. Any of you guys care to explain how do I get started out here? And I've given him a message. So many people recommended you to me, and now I get my own onboarding video. Haha. Friend confirmed. Pretty cool. So well done, everyone out here. Coming out, onboarding. 24 years old, crypto millionaire, DeFi maximist. Cool, sir. If you like DeFi, be very interesting. In my video, friends, just want to let you know. So I explained to Rakkzy, PulseChain, unlisted. We're like a cult, but not satanic cult culture. We're not listed on all the T1 exchanges. It confuses a lot of mainstream KOLs. They think it's like nasty and bad, but no, it just means you're early, like early Bitcoin, early XRP, early Cordanzo, you know, seen as a cult. Out here, it's actually positive to be like that because you get more value besides the price. People still remain, they still remain in the ecosystem. And obviously I said, yeah, just hang around, you know, there's a lot of stuff. There's something for everyone on the chain as well. Here's the P/I pulse ratio. Very interesting, right? That it goes up over time despite all these allegations of things it does out here. Yeah, we've had just this big indecision area out here with the price action, but we know it's correlating with Ethereum being unable to be $5,000 yet, or the business cycle. Here we have my Greek friend, Mr. Grand Inquisitor Kikero, the Greek god who loves Peter Bread and Tzatziki, and this he seems to be from Dark Souls, one of the one of the gloomy images out here. I like this imagery. You know, rain, dark, stormy, adventures. We are all on an adventure together. Here we have Mr. Reptile Hybrid. Fiat-backed stablecoins under US regulation. Banks and custodians can be shut down. PDI, decentralized, no middleman, algorithm, on-chain, unstoppable. Well done. Friends, I would like to invite you, just think of 10 years from now, okay? We don't have Trump anymore. You don't have the Trump family. You've got something else, you know? Europe literally turned upside down again. You know, all these countries around the world. Maybe you get like a return of the spirit of like AOC, Joe Biden, communism or whatever out there in the world, okay? They're not going to be happy if, you know, what if they want to give you another jab? What if they say, hey, you have to eat this meat that we grew in a lab that didn't come from an animal and you're not allowed to ask questions about what we put in it? Okay, imagine they start introducing stuff like that, right? You know that within their power to do that, obviously. Okay, well, wouldn't it be useful if you had a natively decentralized stablecoin using railgun technology that you don't have to show to the rest of the world, just in case one of these evil satanic governments don't like who you voted for or what you're spending your money on? You know, they are going to introduce this stuff, friends. Just to let you know, the future is everyone has like a card linked to your ID. And then when you buy stuff, there's like a carbon footprint reading. They're already testing that in some areas, right? So if you buy meat, you're like, let's say you're only allowed to buy like, you know, 10 units of carbon footprint per week. So if you buy like a steak, maybe it's like 0.8, you know what I mean? If you fill up petrol using your card, there's like 2, right? And then you're like, oh, like, you know, your allocation and your units. They're testing stuff like that. That's why they're going to build like, they're called these smart cities. Not really smart. Also more like, you know, strange stuff happened there. One of the smart cities is going to be put in Hawaii, and coincidentally, all those mysterious fires happened. Do you remember the Hawaii fires? And yes, they avoid the fires. This is how you know, friends. They do have D.E.Ws, directed energy weapons. Okay, I know it blew my mind when I first read about it too. I'm like, no way. But yeah, you think a fire is that sentient? It randomly avoided the land and the mansions of the billionaires and their area in Hawaii? You really think so? Just coincidentally, this fire decided to only burn the poor people, and it totally evaded this natural random fire, right? Supposedly natural and random. It did not go and burn the land of Oprah and other billionaires who had land there, or where they're building one of the bunkers, the underground bunkers. Total coincidence. What, God, such a random thing where like this fire comes, goes straight to the middle class and poor people, and coincidentally, not a coincidence, the land that wiped out is their plans for the smart city. They're just wiping them out, man. So yeah, they do that, friends. They do have the power to do these directed energy weapons, and man, when they want to get something their way, they get it. Let's remember the good times, friends. This was BitBoy out here. I'm not leaving until Bitcoin ETF. Back here when he used to protest for us. Remember the good days of BitBoy. So obviously BitBoy is still with us, friends, but you know, it's a very sensitive issue. I think he's heavily medicated now. So I just want to show you. I'm glad, Ben, you're in a better place, but obviously it's not what you've been used to seeing, right? Like, so
good. Please hit the like button when you come in. First thing, appreciate it. And today we're going to be looking at, can Bitcoin get to $242,000 per coin? We're going to show you exactly how that could happen.
It is a more mellow Bitcoin, a bit mellow BitBoy. It is more calm and more gentle. Yeah. Could be like, you know, sedated, medicated. Trader Main also shared a story. Trader Main said he had a friend who was in and out of jail and he got really skits. He took some hardcore illegal substances. And yeah, unfortunately, he became like extremely medicated as well. But you know, it is what it is. Okay. We pray for him. Hope he gets better. It's just, man, when we got to witness this, such a wild explosion. We watched the spiral happening in real time. I've made videos on it so everyone can learn the lessons. Thank you to Mr. Hexagon5150 for putting this picture together. They can't need BitBoy. Yes, this kind of wild stuff. We all got to watch it, man. This is him just, you know, friends. Yeah, man, you're not on the road. Yeah, was driving. I saw the cutest, fluffiest. It was like an Alaskan Malamute dog, and its head was outside in the back seat. And you know, normally the dog out the window, but he was so fluffy, and his head was like literally like, you know, like a good foot outside. Like his head was out. It's just like, and he was so fluffy and white. And I'm looking at him, and I was like, man, that is so cute. But when I was looking at it, he's enjoying the wind. I was thinking of this photo when we last saw BitBoy just putting his head out and just like, he's like doing the Joker thing where he's just like, you know, like he's in his own trance, in his own zone. Oh, man. I hope we learn a lot of stories from these friends. That's why I bring it to your attention. Remember, I don't judge a single person. Okay, I don't judge. There are stories we can learn. Hopefully some people receive, you know, some sort of spiritual healing of some sort here. Because this crypto industry, man, we've seen it. We've seen this beast. It chews up a lot of people and it just spits them out. Okay? And somehow we're still standing. I hope we have a good story, because right now, this has been an abomination, dude. You know, 5 years of just down early. Is it ever going to get better? I hope so. You know, but yeah, I don't want to jinx anything, because the US Fed, major loser Powell, he's literally... Look, we have so much PTSD from the past 4 years that major loser Powell, he's come out and he said, we're ending QT. He says, yeah, your rate cut's not 100% guaranteed in December. But what he actually said is, he goes, the data hasn't changed. He's pretty much just saying nothing's guaranteed because I don't want inflation to go up. Okay, market already knew that, yeah? But he says, you know, oh, we're stopping QT. And like everyone's so shaky. And that's why I showed you the beginning of this video. I'm like, well, man, when they started QT, every single, you know, doom and gloomer said, don't fight the Fed, don't fight the Fed, don't fight the Fed. And then we collapsed. Okay, bro, they're ending QT now, right? They're ending QT. They're not like deleting money from the money supply. They're not contracting it anymore. Okay, that's bullish, dude. That's bullish. Like, you know, friends, crypto had a big rally when they held rates. Yeah, they didn't cut rates yet. They just held rates, and the market prices in the future. Maybe we're going to witness something like that. Now, maybe we're going to witness markets rally. Remember, just give you an example. I'm just drawing lines, man. We don't know. We're just so defeated. Maybe, because they've stopped QE, right? We have like a disbelief rally where we price in the QE, but they haven't started it. But then they announce a bit of the QE and we actually come back down. Okay, and this moving average is like here. And then everyone's like, oh, crap, like we've already priced in the QE, but then actually we actually have the proper run. Okay, it's a believer's cycle. Maybe that's what happens. You know? Because you got to think, right? This would get, you know, all the people selling here for 4-year cycle. If they get back in on the QE and then it comes back down, they're going to think it's over again. Or they're going to be really locked in. So that's just something to think about, you know, but also everyone's calling for much, much, much lower. Everyone's calling for like, you know, 90, 80, 70, $60,000 BTC. I'm hoping what we're just seeing is a lot of PTSD. And yeah, but we've been saying that for a long time. Don't forget who loves you. Like, subscribe, belly button, or catch you in the next one.